Hello and welcome back to Urban Yoke. My name is Julia, io mi chiamo Julia, and as always, I'm super delighted to have you here. It's been a while since I have done one of these videos. I spend most of them doing the voiceovers now because it's just a little bit easier and I can gather my thoughts. But I thought for this one, why not, just do it outright and chat to you. Today I wanted to talk about what the pregnancy has been like. So I'm 15, almost 16 weeks now, and I have syringomyelia. So for those of you who don't know, syringomyelia is a disease or condition where you have syrinxes, so like cavities that form inside your spinal cord, and then they fill up with cerebral spinal fluid, and that can cause a lot of pain and other symptoms. So everybody has a different variety of symptoms or list of symptoms. For me, it has mostly to do with generalized body pain. Mine is also mostly on the right side. I get spasms, I have tics, then I also have asthma and the breathing can be quite difficult. I have a lot of joint pain and some other issues that are more organ related. So yeah, it is a difficult disease to have, especially because it is so unique to everybody who has it, and it also depends how you got it. Mine is idiopathic, meaning that the cause is unknown. So idiopathic essentially just means that the cause, the reason for why it's there is unknown, but it's mostly associated with Chiari malformation and as far as I know, post-traumatic, so after a car accident or something of the sort. What else? Well, that's the basics, and I'll leave a link down for you in the description to another video where I actually go into a little bit more detail. But if you have any questions, do let me know. Yeah. So the reason I wanted to talk about it is I wanted to share a bit about my experience having syringomyelia, and I have syrinxes throughout my spine, and it not being something that's that common, so there's not a lot of information out there on the internet. I wanted to share a little bit about my experience being pregnant with something like that, and also it being idiopathic. It is very unique or specific to the syringomyelia, and then obviously having stuff like asthma, chronic bronchitis, and just breathing difficulties in general. So let's start off with some of the things that I was struggling with prior to the pregnancy. And being in the second trimester, I think I've had a good share of those symptoms. But prior to the pregnancy, I had started having tics and a few extra spasms, and I was struggling a lot with managing my anxiety. So anxiety and even relaxing. When I relax my body, I would start spasming or having these intense tics. And that's actually one of the reasons I was looking for a doctor here in Italy, where we moved to. If you're new here, I recently, about a year ago, moved to Italy with my husband and our 6 cats from South Africa because I couldn't find a specialist that side who was helping, and we had an opportunity to leave the country, so we took it, and we were able to take all 6 cats with us. But before I could find a doctor and get everything settled this side and registered for medical and all of that jazz, we found out that I was pregnant. So it was a bit difficult. I was also a lot less active once we came to Italy. See, we were living on a farm before. Sorry for the noise in the background, but we were living on a farm before, and we were doing a lot of work outside, and we were gardening a lot because both of us are really into homesteading and really wanted to set up a homestead for ourselves. But unfortunately, that's not it's not possible to do immediately now that we're here. So we are living in a village. We're not in the city, but it is in an apartment. And it's been something to get used to. Before we had a nice big garden. It was absolutely wonderful to be in, though stressful at times. We did a lot of work, a lot of physical labor outside. And our diet was also very different to what it is now, because obviously we eat what's available here. That being the case, I put on a fair amount of weight, and that weight, you know, sits obviously on the joints, and it causes extra pain, and with that extra pain it becomes harder to exercise, because for my balanced regime, my balanced routine that helps me manage my pain, I really need to be able to exercise, eat in a certain way, and, you know, have minimal pain management interventions. Whereas now, I cannot have any pain management interventions because of the pregnancy, and because I haven't had the opportunity to see a doctor about this yet. And being pregnant, I can't do an MRI scan, and, you know, without an MRI scan they cannot check the progress, and I needed to do one already because it's been so long since I've had one done. But so all of that, I put on the weight, and I was already struggling with some of my weight issues, with the pain that it was causing and the discomfort that it was causing during exercise. And one of my other symptoms is nausea and frequent vomiting, so that was something I was already dealing with. And then right after finding out that we were pregnant, about 2 weeks in, because we found out early when I was about 4 weeks, and I started having really intense nausea, to the point where traveling, you know, going on the bus, going on the trains to get to the doctor was really difficult for me, and I was always throwing up afterwards. But now that I'm in the second trimester, it's a lot easier. I think I've been quite fortunate in that I haven't had too much of the nausea issues, and I haven't had too much of the food related issues. So, you know, prior to the pregnancy, I already struggled eating. My stomach would often just close. I'd be like, no, even if you're hungry, I don't want to eat. And I think I was able to better deal with that and the nausea because of my experiences over the years. But now that I'm in the second trimester, it's not as much of an issue. I don't really have food aversions. I do have some cravings, but for the most part, they're not so intense that they aggravate my mood. But I have been having mood swings. So mood swings have been one of them, and then generalized body pain. I have so much pain, and it's to the point where I really cannot deal with the humidity. Not so much the heat, but the actual humidity. So if I shower or bath, I get dizzy easily and I vomit easily from that. So I don't really get the nausea in like long sort of nausea. It's almost like an immediate nausea with immediate vomiting, and that's been difficult to deal with. But overall, it's really the body pain. My joints really hurt. My legs, oh, my legs and my hips and my lower back, incredibly sore. My feet are sore all the time, as if I've been working, you know, a whole day in a retail store without having a break. It's been rather excruciating. I haven't been able to exercise for over a month. It's been very difficult for me, and I'm going to try and start doing that now. But that's kind of where I'm at the moment. The experience has been okay, and I believe that is partly due to two things. One being that I have a very supportive husband, and that is extremely useful. I also have a very supportive family on both sides. You know, his side of the family and my side of the family are very supportive. They're just not so close by that they can be here to help, but from a, you know, like, moral support perspective, they are there, and that is awesome. But from another perspective, the other thing that's good is that I work from home, and I don't have to leave the house, or if I want to sleep late, I can do that. Or if I need to take a nap or something, I can do that. My hours are very flexible, and I work, you know, being someone who works from home, it's a lot easier to manage. If I had to go into an office every day or into work every day, it would be a lot harder to deal with, because the pain itself affects my mood, and then I'm also struggling to manage my mood and sleep. So then sleep is the next thing. Sleep has been so difficult. I've had vivid dreams. I used to have a lot of vivid dreams before, and I kind of got used to it and learned to deal with it, but now since the pregnancy, the dreams are way more vivid, they're way more stuck in my head. It's a lot harder to fall asleep and actually go into a deep REM sleep. So yeah, I'd say those are my two biggest things. It's the insomnia and the pain, and obviously the pain is working into the insomnia, because with a lot of pain it's a lot harder to fall asleep, and if you have joint pain or any kind of pain in your lower back, it's really hard to fall asleep. And breathing has actually, there's the third thing. Breathing's been very difficult for me, and that could also be due to the fact that I do have asthma, so I wouldn't put that necessarily down to the syringomyelia, but it's something to think about because of the increased pain and the humidity and already the predisposition. Yeah, I mean, breathing has been quite hard. My sister-in-law did explain to me that during her pregnancy she also had difficulty breathing, and she doesn't necessarily have any like health issues, so I think it's more exacerbated by the pregnancy than anything else, and that's also making it difficult to want to exercise. So yeah, it's for me, the experience is that my daily symptoms have been increased dramatically without the possibility of intervention of some kind. Because you can technically take paracetamol when you're pregnant, but for me that does nothing. I've been on pain meds my whole life, just about, at least my whole adult life. And pain meds, yeah, low-key over-the-counter pain meds just don't do anything for me, unfortunately. That is the case. And so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. It's some ups, some downs. This week has been really difficult. My hip locked up and my lower back was really sore, and it finally released this morning, and that's why I'm in slightly chipper mood. But for the most part, it's been difficult, it's been hard, it's been uncomfortable. In terms of my body, the actual being pregnant part, I gotta say, that's pretty exciting. And when I do get to go to the doctor and do the sonar and see the little one and hear the heartbeats and, holding my husband's hand and all of those things is not something I thought I would ever get to experience. It's exciting, and I'm glad that I'm doing it with him. I couldn't think of anyone else that I would want to do it with, of course, because, he's the love of my life, and he's not only the love of my life, he's my best friend. We make a great team in many ways. So it is an awesome journey to be on together. And I wish I had a bit more tolerance to deal with this pain, and a bit more tolerance to be able to exercise and try to take care of myself a bit better. Because right now I'm stuck in that mindset of I really want to do better, but I also just want to be comfortable and not have to deal with it right now. And yeah, that's never it's never an easy place to be, as I'm sure some of you are aware of. So yeah, that's that. That's where I am at, and I thought I'd just share a little bit of that with you. For those of you who are interested in either the pregnancy journey or the syringomyelia, or both, because that's part of the journey right now. And yeah, in an upcoming video, after I get to see the doctor again, so that will be in September, I will do a follow-up video on the actual process in Italy and how that's been for anyone who's interested in moving to Italy. So yeah, that's that. And if you have any questions, please just email me directly, ask me in the comments, or better yet, ask me in the comments so I can answer publicly. If anyone else has that question as well, they can see the answer there. And yes, if you'd like to follow along with the journey, I guess do the things like subscribe, all that jazz. But either way, it's just nice to have you here in the video, and I hope it's made some people feel a little bit okay, that the journey is not so bad, and if you can handle syringomyelia, you can certainly handle this. Yeah, so keep well, and I'll see you in the next video. Alla prossima, ciao!